Hello friends, myself Pankaj Bharadwaj. In the series of mole concept, today I am going to take a very important topic named as limiting reagent. When we deal stoichiometry, we face some problems regarding limiting reagent. So we are going to discuss today what is limiting reagent, how can we determine limiting reagent, and how limiting reagent affect the amount of product. All these things are going to be discussed today. So first of all, I want to discuss the definition of limiting reagent. Limiting reagent is that reagent which limits the amount of product formed. In a chemical reaction, we know as one reaction got completely consumed, there is no scope of making more amount of product. So limiting reagent is that reagent which totally consumed during the course of a chemical reaction while another reagent remains unreacted. Such reagent is called as limiting reagent. In the given example, I am going to discuss how can we determine limiting reagent. For example, suppose I have a chemical reaction H2 plus Cl2 2HCl. As per the general principle of stoichiometry, the reaction should be balanced. So I have balanced the equation H2 plus Cl2 2HCl. If I am discussing stoichiometric coefficients of reactants and products, it comes 1, 1, 2. These are the stoichiometric coefficients of hydrogen, chlorine and HCl respectively. So if in the given question I have given 1 mole of H2 is going to react with 100 moles of CO2, find the amount of product formed. Suppose amount of HCl in terms of mole is asked to us. In this case, I know reactants react in their stoichiometric proportions. So 1 mole of H2 must react with 1 mole of Cl2. Or we can say the number of moles of H2 reacted must be equal to the number of moles of chlorine reacted. But in this scenario, I have 1 mole of H2 and 100 moles of Cl2. So we have two conditions. Either 1 mole of H2 reacts with 1 mole of Cl2 or 100 mole of Cl2 reacts with 100 mole of H2. But unfortunately, we do not have 100 moles of H2. So what will we do? 1 mole of H2 must react with 1 mole of chlorine. So what will happen after the reaction? As I know, 1 mole of H2 is going to react with 1 mole of Cl2. So after the reaction, there is no H2 remaining in the solution, remaining in the container, and the amount of chlorine, the remaining amount of chlorine should be 99 mole. So we can say the reagent which completely consumes is called as limiting reagent, and that reagent which remains unreacted is called as excessive reagent. So we can determine which reagent is limiting reagent, which reagent is excessive reagent by just looking at their stoichiometric coefficients as well as the number of moles of these reactants given. Taking another example of nitrogen and hydrogen which combines to form ammonia. So as I know, those stoichiometric coefficients of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia is 1:3 3:2 respectively. If I have given in question 2 moles of nitrogen and 8 moles of hydrogen is going to combine with each other and forming ammonia. In this scenario, I know 1 mole of N2 requires 3 moles of H2 for the complete reaction. In this question, if I have given 2 moles of nitrogen, so I should require how many moles of hydrogen? 3 times of it. So it must be 6 moles. But in the question we are given 8 moles of hydrogen. It means the amount of hydrogen is given in excess amount. So this reagent must be excessive reagent and another reagent must be limiting reagent. So we can say to react 2 mole of nitrogen, we should require 6 moles of hydrogen, but in the given question 8 moles of hydrogen are given. So we can say hydrogen is excessive reagent and nitrogen is a limiting reagent. So after the reaction, as I earlier said, limiting reagent got completely consumed. So there is no nitrogen, and if 2 mole of nitrogen remaining nothing, so we can say 2 mole of nitrogen is completely reacted. And when 2 moles of nitrogen is completely reacting, 6 moles of hydrogen is also reacting in order to remain 2 moles of hydrogen. So by this way, by this type of unitary approach, we can determine which reagent is limiting reagent and which reagent is excessive reagent. We have one another way also in order to determine limiting and excessive reagent. Let us see. There are two coefficients in the case of two reactants X and Y, by the help of which I can determine which reagent is limiting reagent and which reagent is excessive reagent. Let us see. Suppose for the given previous reaction N2 plus 3H2 2NH3, in which stoichiometric coefficients of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia are 1:3:2. So I am going to use two coefficients for two reactants X and Y. And what does it mean? It is the ratio of given moles and stoichiometric coefficient of that reactant. Similarly, given moles to that of stoichiometric coefficient of another reactant. In the previous question, we are given 2 moles of nitrogen and 8 moles of hydrogen. So we can determine the values of X and Y. Given moles 2 and stoichiometric coefficient of nitrogen is 1. Similarly, in the determination of Y, given moles 8, stoichiometric coefficient 3. So if X and Y shows the given trend where X is lesser than Y, so the reagent for which this coefficient is lesser will be regarded as limiting reagent, and for which the coefficient is higher will be regarded as excessive reagent. So we can say as Y is greater than X, so the coefficient X is lesser than Y, so the coefficient of nitrogen has lesser value. So we can say nitrogen is limiting reagent and hydrogen is excessive reagent. By determining the coefficients X and Y, we can determine which reagent is limiting and which reagent is excessive reagent. One more example. Suppose I have given Al plus O2, Al2O3. So I am going to balance this equation, which is the necessary condition of doing the problems of limiting reagent. 4 moles of aluminium, 3 moles of oxygen are going to react to form 2 moles of Al2O3. As stoichiometric coefficients are concerned, 4:3:2. So I am going to get the values of X and Y for both reactants, aluminium and oxygen. And what is the formula of X? Given moles upon stoichiometric coefficient. So given moles, suppose in this question I have given 5 moles of aluminium and 6 moles of oxygen, and we are asked which reagent is limiting and which reagent is excessive. Let us see. X, given moles 5, stoichiometric coefficient 4. Y, given moles 6, stoichiometric coefficient 3. So as we know, X is lesser than Y or Y is greater than X. So the coefficient X, which is of aluminium, is lesser. That's why aluminium must be limiting reagent and oxygen must be excessive reagent. By this way, we can determine which reagent is limiting and which reagent is excessive. So it is the answer of our first question. How can we determine the limiting reagent as well as excessive reagent? Now come to the point. Question number 2. How can we determine the amount of product formed and amount of unreacted another reagent that is called as excessive reagent? Let us see in another example. If I have given a particular question of the formation of ammonia, of the formation of ammonia. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. So the stoichiometric coefficients of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia are 1:3:2 as we discussed. If in the given question we are given 5 moles of nitrogen and 18 moles of hydrogen, how many moles of product will be there, and the amount of excessive reagent left unreacted will be calculated. So we are going to determine the values of X and Y. 5 moles of N2 are given, stoichiometric coefficient 1. 18 moles of H2 are given, stoichiometric coefficient is 3. The value is 5, the value is 6. So X is lesser than Y. So the coefficient of nitrogen has lesser value. Nitrogen must be limiting reagent and hydrogen must be excessive reagent. It is the answer of first question, which reagent is limiting reagent. Now come to the next point. In this given question, as we are decided limiting reagent is nitrogen and excessive reagent is hydrogen, so we are going to determine the amount of product as well as the amount of excessive reagent left unreacted. So as we decided the limiting reagent is nitrogen and excessive reagent is hydrogen, we do one thing. After the complete reaction, as I know, the amount of limiting reagent completely consumed. So if it is completely consuming, there is no N2 after the reaction. And if there is no N2, it means during that particular time period, entire 5 moles of nitrogen is going to react. 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. And when 5 moles of nitrogen is going to react completely, how many moles of hydrogen will react? 1 mole nitrogen reacts with 3 moles of hydrogen. It means 5 mole of nitrogen react with 15 moles of hydrogen. So minus 15 moles of hydrogen. So we can say 18 minus 15. How many moles of excessive reagent left unreacted? It must be 3 moles. And as far as the amount of product is concerned, we can determine it by the help of limiting reagent. So we are going to compare the amount of ammonia formed by consumed amount of nitrogen. As I know, if 1 mole of nitrogen is going to react, how many moles of ammonia will be formed? There are 2 moles. So in this question, if 5 moles of nitrogen is completely reacted, how many moles of ammonia will be formed? Double of it, 1:2. So the amount of ammonia formed must be 10 moles. So the net output of the reaction is 3 mole of H2 left unreacted as well as 10 moles of ammonia will be formed. So in this way, we can first determine which reagent is limiting reagent, and after that, after confirming this reagent is limiting, then by this process we can get the amount of product as well as the amount of reactant unreacted. In this question, we completely answered 3 questions: limiting reagent, amount of product as well as amount of another reagent left unreacted. One more numerical, and the same questions are there: limiting reagent, amount of product and amount of reactant unreacted. Let us see another example with another reaction also. In this case, I am going to give you the amount of reactants in terms of grams. So one more step will be included, that we are going to get the number of moles by given amount of substances. Aluminium plus oxygen gives Al2O3. 4 aluminium, 3 oxygen, 2 Al2O3. As I know, relative atomic mass of aluminium is 27. Relative molecular mass of oxygen is 32. And again, relative molecular mass of Al2O3, 27 into 2 plus 16 into 3. 54 plus 48, 102. its RMM, relative molecular mass, is 102. It should be given to us. In this question, we are given 3 grams of aluminium. When reacts with 8 grams of oxygen, find the amount of Al2O3 formed. The question is, if 3 grams of aluminium is treated with 8 grams of oxygen, how many grams of Al2 will be formed? The procedure is same. First, we are going to determine which reagent is limiting reagent and which reagent is excessive reagent. Let us see. Number of moles. First of all, stoichiometric coefficient 432. It must be written here. 4:3:2. Now I am getting the number of moles of all these components. 3 gram, 3/27. Moles must be 1/9. In the case of oxygen, 8/32, 1/4. 1/4 moles of oxygen will be there. Now I am going to get the expression x and the coefficient x and y. As you know, number of moles given upon stoichiometric coefficient. Number of moles given upon stoichiometric coefficient. The value comes 1/36. The value comes 1/12. As we know, 1/12 is greater than 1/36. It means x is lesser than that of y. So aluminium will be limiting reagent and oxygen will be excessive reagent. First step. After getting reagents as limiting and excessive reagents, we are going to compare the amount of product formed. After determination x and y, we can rub it. We have already decided which reagent is limiting and which reagent is excessive. Now, after the complete reaction, as aluminium is limiting reagent, how many moles of aluminium left? 0 moles. It means 1/9 mole. Entire 1/9 moles of aluminium got reacted. And if 1/9 moles of aluminium is going to react completely, how many moles of oxygen will react? It can be determined by unitary approach. Let us see. How can we determine how many moles of oxygen will be reacted? If 4 mole aluminium reacts, if 4 mole of aluminium react, how many moles of oxygen reacts? 3 moles. If 1 mole aluminium react, the number of moles of oxygen reacted will be 3/4. And in this case, how many moles of aluminium is reacted? 1/9. So 1/12 moles of oxygen will react. And if 1/12 moles of oxygen react, how many moles of oxygen left unreacted? 3/12 minus 1/12, that is 2/12 moles of oxygen left unreacted. And in the case of product, limiting reagent determine the amount of product. As we know, 4 mole of aluminium is going to react in order to produce 2 mole of Al2O3. 4 mole of aluminium gives 2 mole of Al2O3. It means number of moles of Al2O3 formed will be half than that of the amount of aluminium reacted. So if 1/9 moles of aluminium is going to react, how many moles of Al2O3 will be formed? Half of it. And 1/9/2, that is 1/18. 1/18 moles of Al2O3 will be there. So the answer is 2/12 or 1/6 moles of O2 is going to left, and 1/18 moles of Al2O3 is going to form. How many grams of it are going to form? 102/18. So by this way, we can determine limiting reagent, excessive reagent, amount of product formed, as well as amount of excessive reagent left unreacted. So it is the topic named as limiting reagent. In next class, we will discuss another topic. Thank you so much.